3 years after its global unveil, Nissan Philippines finally brings in the all-new Livina. The 2023 Livina is now here. That means they're entering one of the biggest, most lucrative, and of course one of the most competitive segments out there, the small MPV segment. But now that it's here, what does it offer? Well, it's time we check it out. Okay, so let's get one thing out of the way first. The Livina is still based off the Mitsubishi Expander, but we don't care because you know why?
It actually looks better. Up front, you get the Nissan corporate face, and with that, you get the trademark V-Motion grille. It still has the Expander's compound headlight design, but for the Livina, it gets these halogen main beams. The LED daytime running lights, which also double as park lights, are still located at the top. As the top-of-the-line 1.5 VL trim, it also gets these silver accents to the front bumper.
Towards to the side, you'll know that this is the top of the VL model because of all the of chrome and accents. You find chrome on things like the side mirrors, the window molding, and the silver accents you find in the front bumper, the side rails, and of course at the back as well. This is one of the more key trademark design features of the Expander, but Nissan was actually able to insert their own nice little lighting element here that's unique to the Livina. Of course, at each corner are 16-inch alloy wheels with eco tires which are designed for better fuel efficiency. Now, here's one of the things I actually like the most about this. It's actually the rear bumper design. It sort of gives it this SUV-like feel with this split diffuser design, which is quite unique. And I can imagine that there's going to be some Expander owners out there who would actually be going for this kind of bumper in the future. But, well, let's just say Nissan beat you to it. Alright, stepping inside the Livina, it's still pretty much the Expander, and that's not such a bad thing either. I love the Expander because it gives this ergonomic, well-built, sturdy interior. But of course, Nissan being Nissan, they added their own unique touch. You get things like the wood grain trim, leather steering wheel, and leather seats. So those are the things you don't get in the Expander that you get here. So now you're thinking, something's gotta give, right? Well, those additional luxury features, yeah, in a sense, it does reduce some of the Livina's standard features. For example, you don't get standard cruise control for this model. And of course, you get a 7-inch infotainment system. But unfortunately for the Livina, the term infotainment seems like it's an exaggeration because aside from being able to play your tunes via the stereo or maybe a CD, if you're looking for Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you don't get it here. Well, notice how wide those doors open. Well, the Livina is actually designed to be a family-friendly MPV. So with that, the rear doors are actually longer than your average MPV, so that makes entry between the second and third row much easier. One of the things that, of course, being a family-friendly MPV needs to be is that it has to be flexible in its interior space. And of course, the Livina pretty much ticks those boxes. For example, the second row actually slides forward and backward in a 60-40 split. This allows you to be able to divide the available knee room between the first, the second, and the third rows of seats. Another thing actually that's unique to the Livina is the flexibility when it comes to carrying your stuff. For example, in the driver's side, you get these nifty pockets here which you can put things like, for example, maybe a cell phone here, an iPad here, maybe some other documents or whatever in there. Another thing that I actually like is this accordion style storage space, which there are actually 2 of them in the front row. Now with this one, you think, well, it probably doesn't look that deep, but get this. This is like a regular iPhone and it fits all inside with space to spare. You can actually put things like maybe bottles or whatever have you in there, and you keep it away from like prying eyes when you park it on the road. Now, for people who actually don't plan to use the Livina as a 7-seater all the time, well, that's no problem. The beauty of the Livina is actually the flexibility of the space as well. Get this, the way it's done is that you can actually put long stuff way here to the second row. Another thing is that, well, ultimately, if you need to do some balikbayan level shopping, you can actually drop the second row for a full flat space. And of course, this also tumbles forward like this for easy entry to the third row. Speaking about the third row, get this is the amount of space that you get. It's actually not bad. It's great for people who drive long distances. You're not gonna get kids complaining about like how long the trip is to Baguio. And another thing that's great about the Livina is there are actually 3 12-volt sockets spread across the entire car. And that's available across 3 rows. So as long as you've got like a USB charger that can plug into it, you can actually keep your devices juiced up for as long as you want. Okay, so the Livina actually comes with a 1.5 DOHC 4-cylinder engine. In this, guys, it makes 105 horsepower and 141 Newton meters of torque. Now, the lowest end variant is the only one you can get with a manual transmission, and that's with a 5-speed manual, while the mid-trim all the way to the top-of-the-line variant would have a 4-speed automatic. The 2023 Livina actually comes in 4 variants. That's actually the E, the EL, the VE, and the VL. Now, but regardless of whatever variant you're going to choose, the Livina is actually the most sensible MPV that you can buy. Now, sensible may not be a great word to listen to nowadays, but in a crazy world, that actually makes sense. Not only is the spacious, well-built, and of course, pretty much a Nissan, so you can expect a great warranty and after-sales support, but the Livina is actually one of those MPVs that's perfect for the family.